So welcome to take two to another edition. Another edition of Incredibly Normal. I am Rafael, and today we are with.
You're back again with Barman Elvis.
All right. So we're actually on location here at the Prestige Bartender Academy in Covina. So come and check it out. Get some knowledge, make some bucks, get some experience. It's awesome. It's the best. I truly recommend it.
Yes. So, thank you.
Let's go ahead and get started. You go by Elvis.
Yeah.
You go by
Jose.
I
mean, I got yelled at a couple times by people. They don't know my real name.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
About myself, man, I've been doing this for about 26 years. So I've been a bartender in the industry for 26 years. We acquired a bartender school. We call it the Bartender Academy because we feel like we offer more than just what other bartender schools offer. We don't offer them just how to learn how to bartend. We offer them, more in-depth knowledge. We give them a resume workshop. We give them an internship. We want our students to come back and actually ask us more questions so we can, gradually make them better and stronger bartenders and the ones out there. There's a lot of them cookie cutter schools out there. I mean, I'm not here just to talk bad about other schools, but I just think it's best to build people and not lie to them and take their money. So we build bartenders. We want to make them the best. So we're not going to just say, hey, give me your money, here's a book, and good luck. So
yeah, I mean, there would be apps. I mean, there's apps for that. So, but you don't learn everything from an app. So
YouTube, baby.
YouTube to me. Hey, that's my cooking book right there. YouTube.
YouTube University.
YouTube University.
For real.
All right, so awesome. So I understand you have a degree in art, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a bachelor's in art.
Yeah.
A bachelor's in multimedia design, and I studied fine art and screenwriting and film. I studied a lot of. All the stuff I thought I was gonna I honestly I just think about it. I studied everything I wanted to study, things I was really interested in. So it made it easier. Mm-hmm. So when I didn't finish on time, and I could have got a doctorate in it. No, but it just made it so cool to just learn a lot, and then I went to travel the world afterwards. So you can imagine learning to do fine art, learning the masters like Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo, and all the other Ninja Turtles, Van Gogh was a big influence to me too. Alfonso Mucha, which is like Art Nouveau. So when I went to Paris, I went to Italy, I was just blown. Yeah. So
yeah,
and it was pretty cool.
All right. Now, is there a reason why you transitioned from there to something completely opposite, like bartending?
Oh yeah, I was broke. No.
Hey, the starving artist.
I was a starving artist.
Yeah. Okay.
I was literally a starving artist. So I mean, I went to school. Your parents. I mean, I'm a parent now. You're a parent, and you want to provide for your kids. You want your kids to learn a trade so they can take care of themselves and be fine. And you hope they're a doctor or something, but they could be unhappy. So in reality, I was going to school and I was just always just aching for money. I was like, I don't got money. And the story goes for me, I was asking someone for 15 cents, just 15 cents. I already had some, I just needed 15 more cents to get a candy bar. And they're like, don't you got money? And I'm like, yeah, but so after bartending, I couldn't close my wallet. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you fall in love with it? Did you try it?
Did I fall in love with it?
Yeah, I mean,
I fell in love
26 years after.
I'm married to the sea, bro. That's for sure. Married to the sea. I do love bartending. I think I just love the sounds. It's like honestly, it's funny that you say I say married to the sea. There's there's a bunch of lore to it. Like bartending is modern day pirates, modern day sailormen, and it's interesting. I love the roar of the crowd. I love the loudness of the music. I love all that stuff. I love hearing people just I want this, I want that, and you get satisfied by making people drinks and they tip you. But also some people just see you off time and they're like, oh man, you made my night. It's the best thing,
So you don't only just bartender, you also are co-owner of a bar.
Yeah, so I do co-own a bar. That's a great lesson learned. Everybody wants to own a bar. Everybody wants to have their own bar. They think it's a lot of fun and they're going to change their lives with it. The truth is, I think I changed people's lives owning it by giving them work and teaching them a lot. But the truth is, I didn't really get much out of it. I think my partners they're like brothers to me. So like you're never gonna grow up being the bigger brother. They're always gonna be the bigger brother.
Right.
But I do think about it. Like one of my partners, I really won't say his name out there because I don't want him to get offended. But he shouldn't be offended. He's at a level where he's taking his chances. He got his money. He built a business and it worked, and then he kept doing that until he felt successful. And then I think it's like I was his employee, so he would yell at me. He would put me in place, right? But once I became his partner, he stopped doing that. He stopped giving me like a lecture. He stopped putting me in my position where he's like, you should know better, or you already know, or this is the chances you take, And that's I think honestly the only lesson I really got out of being a partner and owner of a business like that, So it's like, you're at my level now.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do what I'm doing, taking risk, then I'm not gonna treat you like anybody under me. Until you keep taking those risks with money and investments, you won't know how it feels to be the big dog,
Well, and hey, lesson learned. I mean, there's a lesson to be had in all this,
I mean, like you buying a house, you bought a house, you know what I mean? So like, I mean, if you bought, this is your second house. Third. Yeah. So it's like, you imagine like, what if it didn't work out the first time?
It almost didn't. Right.
So it's like you took a chance, and where other people are always like, oh, I wish I did that. I want to do that. I could do it. Like wish, want, and do, but you have to do. You just got to do it.
It's true. Sometimes you just dive in head first and figure out once you're in the water. Like,
you got to dive in.
Yeah. Well, nothing venture, nothing gain.
It's like an invisible plank. You just got to walk and see. You take your chances, and when you take your chances, you'll make it if you believe in yourself.
I think he was directing somebody. I want to point any fingers. Awesome. So run us by, what does a typical day for you look like?
Typical day, get up, get the kids to school.
Well,
Make sure I'm wearing clothes, right? I just get up sometimes. I'm that dude. I wake up like the Homer Simpson. I have my tank top and boxers on. I'm just like, oh, let's do this, But I get up. I yell, hey, brush your teeth. Hey, wear a jacket. Hey, tie your shoelaces. And then I get them in the car. I put on some cool jams on because I want them to grow up knowing the music I grew up with.
Real music.
What's my favorite word? No. They're in the background like, bitch. No, I definitely put some cool music on. They really like Black Eyed Peas, and they like cool. I mean, it's like, it doesn't sound old. Like it doesn't sound like the Black Eyed Peas are old, but they are.
They're early 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s. And you got my kids, you got your kids, and it's like, they dig it. They dig it. So I put on music that influences them and pushes them, and I call it karaoke, and we jam out, and then we get them to the driving and drop them off and wish them luck. You never know. I mean, and I teach them that too. Like in life, say I love you and goodbyes and stuff, because you never know when's the last time.
Yeah, tomorrow's not a guarantee. That's for sure.
For sure.
All right, and then once you get to work, what does that look like to you?
Work. I love work. I get here. I got workers and stuff, that I really respect, and I think they do really good jobs. But I mean, how they always say, like, you can't like you want to do it yourself, right? It's like, the best thing is you do it yourself. You got to do it yourself. And I believe in that, but at the same time, like, I feel like you can just trust somebody. You gotta let go. Sometimes you gotta let go. Like, you'll be like, they got this. Yeah. They got this, And I believe in that. But I get here and I still want to look. I still want to make sure, And I fill up waters, and all our liquor here is not real liquor. It's actually color dye. So it's like food color dye.
Well, so much for the fucked up edition.
Right.
I guess we're doing this.
We're pretending.
Maybe next one.
I did see a student one time drink it one time. I was like, what are you doing? Don't drink that, So like this tasty margarita right here, this tasty margarita made by our student Georgette there. Thank you, Georgette. This awesome lime. This is a plastic lime. Even the fruit's fake. But the ice is real.
The
ice is real. I mean, it's not like the other school that doesn't have fake, real ice. Anyways, but no, we
shall not name.
We'll not keep bashing other schools. But the truth is, like, we try to make it as real, and we try to make it as comfortable and efficient for the students to train. So when people ask them, like, do you have an experience? It's like, because you remember going through job interviews and you're like, That's why I'm here.
Yeah, they want the experience, but they don't want to give you the chance to gain that
It's
experience.
like if I had that experience, I wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah.
But give me the job, and I'll show you that I have the experience, or like not even just experience, but the guts, the courage, the
want, the
and the
drive.
ambition, the drive, the hunger to work and make my job done. I'm got this. But that's what we do with the students. We give them courage. We give them trials for speed. Everybody has some form of depression or anxiety. We all have something like that in us. We get a little scared, and we're asking people to come back to school and learn a new trade, and they do. But at the same time, they feel cool. They feel like rock stars, and that's what I want them to feel like when they go for a job interview.
Yeah.
So when they go,
have the confidence.
Confidence is like when you sell not just me, like you're selling yourself for a company to pick you up, but you're also selling your experience. So what's your experience? Well, I went to an academy that taught me more than I should know about bartending, and I'm very confident. So give me the chance to go behind the bar, I'll make you a drink. And it's like, bang, all these fake drinks become real, and they become reality.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm practicing.
And they become delicious.
Yeah. Add a little bit more in there, you know what I mean? But we make sure that everything looks good for them. So they got the right tools. They got the shaker tins. These are my private shaker tins right here, the nice gold ones and stuff. But they get tins and any kind of tool, so garnishes. Just makes it really easier for them to kind of feel like they're really at work. So once they've done, they take 2 tests with me. They take a written exam, and they take a speed exam. And that speed exam is like 12 drinks, 6 minutes, and it's like, man, it's like put pressure on me, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I build these cats. I build my students to be fast. I build them to be, like these race cars. So I call them Ferraris. You're Ferraris. Like you're sexy. You're a machine. You got accuracy. You got control. This is what everybody's body should be like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel good for them. When they're out there working, I think they have to teach themselves to be slow.
Yeah.
It's like, how's work? It's a little slower right now. But when it's fast, like, they're just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see.
All right.
So that's what we're about. That's my day. I get everything ready. I teach 2 classes. I teach a early 11 o'clock class, and I teach a 7 o'clock class. I do have other instructors that do assist me and take some workload off of me. I have a great administration worker that calls and makes sure everybody has their clock-in times, their payment plans on deck. So it's really cool. It's a cool little it's a small work environment, but we all are very efficient on working together.
Awesome.
So it's cool.
So take me back to your bartending when you're like you're behind it. Like what does a good day look like to you?
At work? Like bartending work?
Yeah.
Oh man. Dude, like I go to work, right? I mean, it's like jumping on a ship, bro. It's like, all right, let's see where we go today. Like it could go bad, it could go good. The mission is to have a good night and make money. Meet people, meet new people. Have just some good stories. Some bad night would be like when people get in your face and are rude, or if something happens where it causes like a drama, like people get out of line, they have too much to drink, or they just mix their feelings together with their alcohol. Next they're arguing outside, and everything's focused outside, and don't touch my friend, don't talk to him like that. And it's like, dude, you're just here to have a good time. If we could just like chill, and I'll give you another drink, that's not gonna solve it, but just you want people to breathe and chill. But that's a bad night for me. But a good night, come to work, set up your well, make sure you have the right money, you got your tools, just feel the music, and then boom, knock it out. I mean, sometimes you can just be like, you're in, and you're you're like, oh, we're going home already, like we're done. It's like, I mean, you grew up working, all kinds of jobs, and it's never been like that, bro. Like, you clocked in and you're like, oh, well, time to go home. Like, it's time to go home. Like, okay,
all right.
That's
but what does like a bad day look like? Like terrible day.
Terrible.
Like fuck this day. Like I
mean, I really don't have a boss anymore. But when I did have bosses, it's always been like, you want to be how you say, like, you want to make money for them. So you want to be like, all right, cool, I'm here, I got all these people, you're putting in the money register, your cards, and sometimes bosses see you crowded, like with a lot of crowd. I always had a lot of crowd around me. I felt like they would get jealous and they would have eyes on you, and it's like, I'm making you all this money, dude, and I feel like that happens to my students. Like, that's what happens when you make rock stars. You make people that are awesome. People get kind of a little jealous.
But I mean, I think on the contrary, wouldn't your boss want that?
Do you think that? I mean, I've been. I remember getting lectures for being like, yo, you gotta chill. You're too rowdy, or you're too wild. You got too much going on. It's like, You know, like you think that, you think, you would want something like that. And it's funny because like when I became an owner, when I became manager of my bar, it was like, if I asked you like, hey man, if this crowd's kind of dull, and you hype it up by getting on top of the bar and, getting everybody all raised to the roof. And
Yeah.
in that interview, I mean, one of the women that I interviewed, she got on top of the bar and got everybody hyped up, and I hired her, so
Okay.
I just think like, if you're willing to show people that you're willing to go above and beyond, literally, to do your job, that should be great, right? So, why would bosses be jealous? They just do. I mean, they just don't see why someone can be such a cool rock star, make so much money, and then make them money, but at the same time, just like, it
doesn't make any sense. Like
yeah,
this,
dude,
like,
it's
the
crazy.
why.
It's like that the crab in a bucket mentality. Like, there's money for everybody, and there's fame and fortune for everybody. Some of us are built for it and more, and some of us aren't. But I mean, I'm not gonna stop you from not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm coming up right now. Like, why? Like, what do you mean why? Like,
yeah, no, you should encourage it.
You should encourage it.
Not keep them down. Yeah.
I think that's the whole thing. Like, I love to build people. Like, I'm a sassy dude. I'm very, very like my uncle. I'm very sassy, and I give people like little jabs. But I like to see people build. I don't want to see people destroy themselves either. I think everybody has a self-destruct button, which sucks. Some people more than others. Just start all over.
Yeah.
But if you're that person's friend, you kind of want to just hug them. You want to talk to them. You want to be like, "What's up?" And people don't understand when they go get like coffee with their friends and chill. Like that's their vibe. And like, bro, like how's life? How's everything? Some people you grow up with, like, everything about them, so you kind of like have their back, and they're like, that's not my bro, that's not my boy, he's good. I grew up with you like that. We were like, for a time, me and you were inseparable, and when we did, it was like, oh, you're good, he's all right. But some people don't have that.
No, they don't, and that can lead to depression, different state of mind.
And if therapy was affordable for everybody, then dang, everybody would be all right. How you doing today? I mean, I'm not that good, but I'm all right. That's better
days. It really should be, and the word should be out there more that it's okay to receive therapy. Any of us should be able to receive therapy.
I talked to my doctor today. I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
This is my therapy right here. Imagine be like, man, what is wrong with you? Let me make you a drink.
Also, like Homer Simpson said to alcohol, the cause and the solution to all problems.
It's like, I'm gonna make you a drink while we talk about your problems. That's how it is. But a lot of them like to go back to their parents. Like therapists always be like, well, tell me how your parents treated you. Tell me about your history with your mom and dad. And it's like, I hate that. Like, it's like, why would you blame that on my parents? But it's like, oh.
Everything stems from somewhere,
like,
yeah.
What is that? The apple doesn't fall from
the tree.
Yeah, right. It's like what does that tree look like?
Well, no, yeah, that's a lot of people don't understand that too. Like there's different traumas that people aren't even aware that they have because they're not familiar with it.
Yeah.
So now studies have come out of talking about generational trauma.
Yeah.
And childhood trauma. Like even something that because everybody handles things differently. Like again, going back to like when we were growing up, for us was anytime you hurt yourself and you wanted to let a tear come out, somebody would be there like, boys don't cry.
Yeah.
Boys don't suck it up. Walk it off, whatever. And now looking back at it now, it's like, okay, would I do it to my son? Well, no, because I think he should be able to express his feelings without feeling like he's judged, and and without having to feel like he has to bottle everything up, because when you bottle it up, eventually it can explode and things can go bad. But that's my parenting style. People have their own, and everybody has a different way of handling trauma. But definitely, if you feel that you're in need of mental health assistance, then definitely go out there and look. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people go to bartenders because they make them their heroes. They make them their like talking buddies and stuff. But sometimes we're just like, yo, man. Sometimes it's just like real deep. It's like, bro, I didn't come to work so I can hear this. You know what I mean? But I mean, we try to give people the best advice, but I mean, it's so much we can take too, before we're over there at home, like thinking about your drama, thinking about your life. And it's like, man, I really hope he gets some work done. That's just, but no, you're right. Like, and the whole thing too, like going back to like, being a man, like who teaches us that? Me and you both weren't raised. We both had working hard moms. I mean, we didn't have dads, so it wasn't really like, hey, be a man, we didn't have a guy there to tell us that, or, hey, you should do push-ups like this. So I'm big on my kid about that. Like, my son's like, I'm teaching him how to do push-ups and how to work out. It's like, He's like, oh, I hate it. I'm like, bro, I didn't have a dad to tell me, like, bro, you're getting pudgy. You should get on the, you know. And, you know, it's crazy, but it's true, you know. And you know, if I got a heartbreak from my, you know, my girlfriend back then when I was a kid, what would a father have told me? You know what I mean? You know, I think my father would have probably told me that thing I learned from another man was, you know, hey, that bus, yeah, it comes every 15 minutes, bro. There's gonna be another one every 15 minutes. Like, what? Like, you know, like, don't worry about her. There's gonna be another
world.
Yeah, there's gonna be another beautiful girl coming in another 15 minutes. And I was like, oh, you know. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, not having a father could have been beneficial, or it could have been a little like usually traumatic to us. But you know, having hardworking moms, you know, I think that was the cool benefit. Like knowing that their struggle, seeing their struggle, and then me and you caring about what they are now. Like they're older women, and they're fragile women. So we want to make sure that they're better, they're safe, they're healthy. Yeah, dude, and that's the thing, you know. And it's crazy. Like back then, there's a lot more people. How'd you say like you know, why were our parents? Why were they single? Why did they lose their man? Like a lot of people didn't know how to stay in a family, how to be like, be a man, you know, take care of your family. Back then, like it was honorable. Like you got to stay together, you got to keep this family together, you got to raise your kids, right? And then all of a sudden, you got this generation of men just like, nah, I can't do it. I don't know how to be dad. I don't know what to do. And now more so, right, where we get these guys that I see, you know, these young men, and I'm like, man, they're like boohoos. They're just always crying about something. It's like,
and then you're like, suck it up, man, don't cry.
And I'm like, bro, like, why you always playing mind games with your girlfriend? Like, just be a man. But I'm not their father.
Yeah,
right?
that's
I'm not your father. Could be your daddy. I don't know, but
as far as I know,
right?
You know, I'm not. All right. So, and speaking of like, so you know, like working in a bartender and being around alcohol all day, like, okay, so like, is there like a higher risk for bartenders to?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's always people saying there's gateway drugs, you know, and then like, you know, alcohol could be one of them. You know what's funny? I've always wanted to contact, not really funny, but I always wanted to contact somebody with the MAD, that's Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. When we grew up, it was there, right? You know, but like now, I mean, there's so many car accidents out there, dude. There's so many like people drinking and driving and causing car accidents and living and killing other people. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, like a little bit of me kind of gets like, wow, bro, you know, why? You know, I hope that bartender was just, or the person that served them didn't give them too much, or we don't know the story. We
really don't know.
But
and some people don't look like they're drunk until much later. I mean, I remember one of my friends, I won't say his name, but I remember we would come home and he looked sober, and then he would wake up the next day and be like, bro, who drove home? And I'm like, you did? What do you mean? He says, I don't remember. I was
Spider-Man?
Yeah, and I was like, you look, you know, and
who drove?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, and that's because when he was drunk, he looked sober.
Yeah.
I mean, or maybe I was a little tipsy too.
Poker face, huh?
Yeah. So, you know, but it's all about self-control when it comes to that. But
no, yeah, I mean, and that's that's the biggest thing. Like you say, some people have self-control, and then, you know, back to those self-destruct. But some people are like, you know, when they're done, they're like, I'm gonna go all in. Go all in, and they start drinking more, and they start doing other things, you know. But you know, I think bartenders, there's a trend of bartenders would drink, but just have like a shot, you know, to loosen up and just have a shot, you know. But I always tell my students, you know, 1, okay, 2, yeah, having a good time, 3, you're partying, 4, you're out of control. Like I won't see them pass 1 or 2, you know, but. People do drink, and do we tend to become like alcoholics? I mean, I think there's more of a market of people smoking after work. They enjoy their little smoke, or they occasionally do some shrooms sometimes. So they'll have fun with that. Ayahuasca, shrooms, some of the legal stuff. But I get that. Like they're trying to like, you know, not tune out the world, but just kind of just enjoy their vibe. And I'm not, that's good, but drugs aren't the way they used to be back then either, you know. So back then, if you tried a drug, you'd probably be like, oh, that was crazy, don't want to do it again, right? And I think they're so, how you say, chemically enhanced that you do something, it hurts you, and then you're addicted. And for us bartenders, we make so much easy cash, easy money, that you're just addicted, and you're just paying this, like, you're just, you know, giving it to the monkey, you know what I mean? It's like, man, like, get that. Let me get my drugs this weekend. I'm gonna work and I'm gonna make my money for my drugs, and it sucks, you know. And then we have an obligation to work with each other. I make a certain amount of money. You do.
Yep.
If we split that together, we're good partners. Like we can do good cop, bad cop. We can do whatever. Like at the end of the day, like I want to make some money for me and you to put in a pot for us to take care of our families and take care of ourselves. But you got one person that just gone, like just drugged out, not really focused, being rude to customers. What does their pot look like, right? $100. Well, we're over here making $250 a piece, $300 a piece. Put in a pot, then maybe we get tipped out by the server, costs more money, and then this cat comes over like, yeah, I only made $100. Like, so we had to cut our pot more for you, and you didn't bring nothing to it.
Yeah.
That's because you're all drugged out. You're all, it sucks. It sucks, And
is that like a standard policy for bars normally, where everybody is there somewhere?
Some places, there's some places that do like the tip out. They just take their own money, which I worked at places that always like had a team effort. I didn't like working with people that were just singly taking their own tips. I get that when there's like a server or you open the bar and you have like a smaller team, but when it's a bigger team, it's better to just make the money together. I was a rock star. And a big-headed rock star at one time where I didn't want to share my money, and I learned my lesson. I really did. Like, I had some really good bartender partners, and I hurt their feelings. I really did. I was like, why am I sharing my money with you? I got people in the line waiting for me. I'm meeting celebrities, and I hurt their feelings. I broke their heart, and they let me bartend on my own and learn my lesson. So I was kind of literally out of Viente. I was like on one side. They were just like, that's all you then handle, and I couldn't. My attitude changed. I was angrier. I couldn't take care of everybody. Yeah. I learned my lesson. I begged for forgiveness. It took me back after a while, but dude, lesson learned. You can imagine. Money.
As long as you learn something from it, that's the important. That's
greed is the root to all evil. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think if you could look at it like if everybody can break bread and eat at the table, then we're all good. We're all happy. But yeah. It's just unfortunate that we do involve ourselves in the drinking atmosphere. And then some people just want to up the ante and just go to drugs, and that's more, That's
unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So speaking of tips, I think I've asked you this before, but who do you feel is the best tipper, men or women?
I would say back then, dudes were like, all right, big dog, yeah, the tip. But women are in charge right now, man. Women are the ones that are just like killing it. They're the ones that say yes or no. They're the ones that say swipe left. Swipe right, I like him.
Tinder reference,
right? Not that I'm on it, but it's a trip. Like women do tip good. I mean, I remember having like a dude that wasn't gonna tip me, and the girlfriend was like, "You better tip him good," and I'm like, he'll tip me good. And then she's the one getting the receipt and putting more money on there, and it's like. Hey,
with his card?
Yeah, with his money. I was like, hey. Okay. And then the dirty look he gives me, like, how you know my girl? It happens, but I mean, I would say women just ultimately just budget better. So they're like, I can tip them 20, I can afford that. So I would say women tip better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would want to do is step back up, but it is what it is.
Hey, who do you think is like what kind of client is the one that you're just like, oh god damn it,
well, who I hate, when I see something?
I'm sure you have enough experience to tell, one of these guys.
I'm putting up the edit this later. No, I don't know. I would say what you see, it's not about I'm not racist, I'm prejudiced. No, I feel like everybody's culture is interesting. You get people that are loud and wild and just energetic. You got people that are really chill and calm and very elegant. But I think I get to see people by their movements, how they come in, all right, check me out, yeah, check you out, and then they just become poser. Oh, okay. And they're just like, all right, that chain, it wasn't real. It's like, right, yeah. They come in with the glasses in, and it's like shades in the dark. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
cool. And it's like they get to the bar, they're like, yo, let me get a cranberry vodka, and it's like the cheapest drink. It's like, you want a Grey Goose? Like, nah. And it's like, okay, you want a $5 drink? And you give them that $5 drink, and they sit on that drink for 3 hours.
Oh.
It's like, oh.
Okay.
This cat, So yeah, it just depends. You just get random people.
I won't lie, dude. The first time I was asked if I wanted top shelf, I was like, "What's that?" Top shelf. What the fuck is that?
What's top shelf? Yeah. You get people that come in just hot. You know what I mean? And I get that, dude. I'm coming up. I always like to give people these lectures or speeches too. Like, I think I can see myself going up there. I mean, I'm no Tony Robbins, bro, but I can be like, yo, let me tell you the ABCs, baby, And I recently feel like if you have a don't give a fuck attitude, you can do anything. You know what I mean? And I feel like I look at these cats and they come in, and I'm like, posers, right? But you know what? I think about it, it's like,
that works for them then.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I walked in the other day at my bar with the fur coat, right? Like I look like Ken. I was wearing my fur coat, and even with the blonde hair, just going blonde, like everybody, it changed. Everybody was like, "What? Oh no, why? What are you midlife crisis?" People that are close to you will joke, and give you little comments, and then later on they're just like, it's not that bad on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I wish I had gray. I wish I had the silver fox. You know what I mean? I just won't be able to get it like you.
Who are you?
Right? Who are you? But the truth is, like, if you don't give a fuck, like, you can wear a pink suit with flashy, like, dope Stacey Adams and.
Well, the only thing I've always said, like, about, like, when I, like, for example, the last time I went to a bar, I felt like I was already older already, and I started, like, just people observing.
Yeah.
I went with a friend, and
I like to do that.
And I was just thinking to myself, like, the rich people that I know, they don't have to act like they're rich.
Yeah.
They just act like themselves.
Yeah, very true.
And that's the thing that I always think about when I see guys like trying to flash this whatever. I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think like if you're rich, you don't really have to act like it. You just do whatever, because you already know, like, you already know you have money, so like you don't have to like pretend by buying shirts that say I don't know, let's just name something fancy.
It's a trip, like, it's a social status. Like, I mean, I think people look good when they like dress fancy, but what's fancy, right? Like, you can go to Nordstrom Rack, you can go to Ross. Today Ross had a big special today. No,
oh man, I'm missing it.
We gotta go. There's a lot of people that they're waiting for the doors to open. Like, but you could go. If you're a shopper and you're on a budget and you can get something really cool looking and make yourself look fancy, and you spent less, that's cool. I think it's all about having a good bank account, a safety cushion.
Yeah.
You have a safety cushion to jump on, to fall on for your rent, for your business, for just your kids, yourself, even your health. That's dope. That's being secure. That's being smart. That's being rich. You know what I mean? Because you can be rich with money and all that and have problems, or you can just be rich and wealthy with friendship and love and health. So it's always like that, right? It's always a thing. But like I said, like earlier, like if these cats don't give a fuck, then they don't give a fuck. And if I felt like I don't give a fuck what I do, then that just makes me me.
Yeah.
And I'll just do me until. I mean, that's what makes people go like, that guy got it all together. It's like, not really. I just want to do me. I just do what I want to feel. It's not what I don't give a fuck. It's more like I don't care what people think, and this is how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
And you really shouldn't. I mean, yeah, you like we said, maybe that guy who. That works for him and that makes him happy, then by all means.
Maybe he's being smart. He sat on that $6 drink for 3 hours, and he's like, didn't get a vibe here. And he goes somewhere else and spends another $6, and he meets his love of his life for the night. And it's like, well, then he won, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If that's what he was.
He caught one,
Yeah.
Nah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so switching back into something else. So you used to work at a hospital.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay. And did you ever work like a graveyard shift?
Yes. I work graveyard. Man.
Did you ever see anything crazy?
I saw lots of crazy stuff.
Tell us about something. What did you see?
I think the first thing I saw that really kind of confirmed that I saw ghosts, and people always ask me, like, you believe in ghosts? I tell people I've seen lots of things. The only thing I've never seen is a werewolf.
Damn.
Right?
So you've seen a Frankenstein?
I've seen things that shouldn't look like they were put together. Like you say Frankenstein, to me this is like just people that are just like, like
lights are on but no one's home.
Or like they're like, oh yeah, I got our surgery here, because it's like, whoa, what? They get put together. It's like they get in a car accident.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've seen some of those. Yeah, that's.
You're like this right here is like, dog, you were in Frankenstein, bro. Mm-hmm. And you see the scars, and it's interesting. But I've seen ghosts. I've seen the paranormal, and I don't want to say like, oh, I'm into it. I hate watching those movies, bro. Like, I can't watch scary movies because I feel like you're just invited in your life, and it's not like, oh, the light flickers. Nah. Bro, at the hospital, I was one time making my rounds in the basement, and I saw an old lady walking the fucking hallway. I was like, oh, ma'am, you can't be in here. or not even you can't be here. Like, ma'am, there's nobody down there, right?
Yeah.
You should, ma'am, are you okay? You shouldn't be down here. Do you need assistance, right? And I'm over there on the radio like, this is 34 to control, and they're like, go 34. I was like, do we have any missing patients that are wandering around? And then she said, 34, change to channel 2. I was like, okay, so like I had to go to a different channel so no one heard it.
Yeah.
And I went to channel 2, and she said, what are you looking at right now? I said, what? She's like, what are you looking at right now? I said, I see an old lady walking the hallway. She says, does she have any feet? And I said, what the fuck kind of question is that, right? But I was like,
yeah.
And I look, bro, like the second she said that, I was like, in my head, like just like, what did she mean by that? Like, and I look, and mind you, the lady's just gliding, bro, like just walking like that in the hallway. And she didn't have feet, bro. So it was just a gown, like a gown.
Like floating?
Yeah, it was like no feet, bro. It was like,
yeah, well,
I was like,
this is 34 needing a change of pants.
Just 34, I can go back. And I trip out, I'm gone, right? And then, we were kids, we saw Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
And then that's like the library scene, where it's like the librarians on the thing, and she's like, shh, and I'm just like, that's exactly what I felt like. I felt like I'm there. She didn't turn around and said nothing to me. I was gone. I didn't want. After that, I was just gone. Like, because I just peeked my head around the hall and I saw her, and I was like, hey, and it wasn't making noise. You usually hear people talking, like hitting the floor with their, even with no feet, no feet, with no sandals or shoes, you could hear like cold ground hitting the cold feet hitting the ground. Nothing, bro. It was just like, ma'am, you good? You need assistance, ma'am?
So what, she just disappeared? Like, what?
I didn't know. I ran away after that, bro. I was like gone, right? I was gone. And I remember working at the hospital, working as a cook, as a chef. And I remember telling them, like, how come we have to leave at 11? Like, why do we have to clock out by 12? She's like, because after 12 o'clock, there's no need for the kitchen. I said, okay, but I mean, I'm sure people get hungry. I'm sure you can prep for tomorrow. They're like, we used to have like late hours too. I said, and she's like, you don't want to be around late hours here. People, the pots and pans start falling off the shelves. And I was like, that was Beatrice. So I was like, whoa, that was crazy,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The story that everybody gets from me, sober. Drunk me will tell you the ER exorcism. So that's probably gonna be another time for you. But the one that everybody gets from me is when I went to prep I was there at 4 o'clock in the morning, right, early, and I had to prep for the kitchen for the breakfast hour. And the breakfast hour was pretty funny because I would go downstairs to the basement with my cart, and the elevator was one of those old elevators you had to put together like that, and you had to put the metal cage and hit this old button, and hopefully the electricity,
was still running.
Yeah, right. And it takes you down. You're like going down. And mind you, that's the same elevator they use to take the bodies up to the mortuary and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So
sanitary?
No, it was. I mean, they zip them up and everything. So I go down there, and I go to my cage, and I'm like feeling this weird funk, right? Like I'm like, whoa, someone's like watching me or something. And I'm like, is someone down here? I was looking around like, hey, is anybody here? And no one was there. And then I just had this weird feelings, right? And I turned around, and then I saw myself. So it was like for 2 seconds, right? And I was like, oh snap! And then it just like
smoke
disappeared, right?
Dang.
And I didn't tell no one, right? And this is the kicker, guys, right? Until one time I was like going to sleep, and then my roommate tells me a story that sounded like that story, and then when he's like, and then I turned around and I said, you saw yourself, and then you said,
yes, it was me.
And I was like, fuck you, I told you the story, right? And you're like, no, this happened to me today. And I was like, no way. And I remember I just remember like you slept on one side of the room and I slept on the other side.
We got the little blanket and we're like,
and now I was like, because I don't want to tell anybody, right? I never really got to and I never told you. And then you told me your story, and I was like, that's
my guy
crazy.
looked angry. He looked like mad.
Yeah, I thought he was laughing at you like me.
No, mine wasn't angry.
So it was the same ghost, and that's when me and you were like, we were both like, why? Why did we see the same ghost? Why is that? And then I remember we looked up that it was a doppelganger.
A doppelganger.
Yeah, something, right? Yeah. I couldn't say it either.
Did I say it wrong now?
But and then it's they take the image and shape of the person they're Right.
And this is before cell phone cameras. So
Oh,
in case anybody says like, "Oh, do you have any footage of it?" No, this is like in the '90s.
We had to go to libraries to get Sylvia Brown books, bro. That's how before the internet was even really like that much, you know.
Yeah,
info.
like there was no smartphone. Oh, hold on, let me pull up
Sylvia
my iPhone.
Brown.
Yeah, no. Like
Sylvia Brown book. Buy this or go to the library and get it. Yeah. So we had
it was the library because
and then I remember my mom. We used to live with my mom, and she said, "Don't get too much involved with that." You know, that's why I learned like if you open the door, you're gonna open the door to lots of things.
Yeah, and many people still believe that like you can't, don't play the Ouija board, don't watch those movies.
Yeah,
like opening up a door for people to, like for more of them to come in and this and that.
And I think because we were young and we just started getting a job with money and stuff, where we're like, let's do it. Let's read books. Let's buy books. Let's go find haunted places. And I think it's not that we wanted to. It's just I think we just were like, why?
Yeah, it's the why that trips me out. Like the why. Like Yeah.
So that was like the old lady was one of them. The doppelganger was the other. And I used to hate walking at the nursery. There was a nursery that was not abandoned, right? It was just an abandoned floor.
No, they moved it to a different hospital.
Yeah.
So the floor was empty.
But we had to walk. What was that, 50 feet maybe, or like?
No, it's like a good 100 feet.
100 feet.
Yeah.
And we had to go touch a button.
Yeah.
Just to see
check
that we were there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Worst feeling, bro. It's like, Dios, ayúdame. Like, you just had to have that prayer.
Well, you remember the story about that?
No.
That supposedly during childbirth, a mom passed away, and so did the child, and the dad, out of despair, threw himself out the third story.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so that's why everybody was like, that place is like just haunted.
Is that why they really closed it down?
That's why, I was like, I was terrified. Like when the babies were still there, it was like, you feel the like the energy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like
once they were gone, once the babies were gone, and once that place, it was like a totally different feeling. Like I was like, I hate being here. Like
you know what was unfortunate? That was the best place to go to the restroom. Remember?
Yeah, so your personal throne. You're like, oh man.
It was the best. I remember I scared one of my partners, and our partners were old.
Yeah, they were older guys.
So I was going up there, and he was up there, and he wasn't answering his thing. So I was like going up there, and he's like, "Oh, you scared the hell out of me!" Oh.
Oh, man, I think like two of them were like World War vets, World War II vets, and
Tony Cordova,
sitting there scaring them. Like, that's
Bob Bellevue. Yeah, I remember those guys, bro. Yeah. Bob was with me when I did the Exorcist thing.
Awesome.
And he was a white guy, but when that happened to him, that day I brought him into the ER.
He ran like Speedy Gonzalez.
No, bro, his face was just like, and he just looked at me. He just, that's not right. Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
That's pretty awesome. So tell me, like, let's switch it up again. So you have kids.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Again, going back in the '90s, we got to experience playing in the street versus being on the phone all day. Now everybody's like, I don't even see kids walking home anymore. And when I do, even I'm tripping. I'm like, holy smokes, you let your kid walk on the street. Like,
You mean your son doesn't have like a little Apple Tag yet, bro?
I don't even know what that is. Okay, so maybe I have to look into that. What is it, like a tracking system?
Yeah, it's like you get little Apple Tags. They're like a little dot. They're not dots. They're not like this big. It's like a coin, and you track whatever you want to track. You can put it on your backpack, your car, and GPSs.
Oh, really?
Straight Batman.
Okay, well, maybe for the future. Right now, we're he's still small, so we're
putting in a shoe.
Yeah, really? No, it's. I just watched that movie. What's it called? The Sound of Freedom, and oh my god.
Yeah, bro, I couldn't watch that.
My wife started crying. She was just like she couldn't take it, and it was a rough watch, especially when you start. I did the research and found out that although it was exaggerated and certain events didn't take place, for the most part, that movie is pretty true.
Yeah,
and I'm like, holy crap. So that's super scary, and that just.
Well, I've heard of friends going to like places like Jamaica and some places for vacation, and they try taking them, and they're like grown women. In their 20s, in their 30s, it's like, whoa.
That's what they say, never leave the hotel because...
That's what I like to go local shit, like, I'll be like, what do the locals do? Like, walk around and find out.
That's all fine and dandy, but, sometimes the locals don't want you there, like...
Yeah, some places are like that. It's like, that's how they make their money off of tourism, but sometimes,
Yeah. It's better safe than sorry and stuff, but as far as that, like the social media and all that goes, what do you tell your kids? What advice do you have?
I watch what they put on their iPads. I watch everything. We monitor how much time they're on there. My daughter, my son are very creative. My son loves Legos. we got him that monthly, engineer thing that comes in the mail. So every month he gets a new thing, and I try to work with him on it. But dude, he's so smart about it. Like, he's like, done in 20 minutes. Boom, he's done. I'm like, what did you learn out of that? You know, like, why was it so easy for you to do it? But he's in it. And Vivi's into like DJing stuff, so she has a little funny Fisher Price kind of DJ set, which actually records tracks.
Oh, cool.
So I try to tell him, like, bro, like, Roblox, Minecraft, whatever. I don't know, like, just try to get off of that and just do something for real. And my daughter and my son are really good at art, like,
awesome.
as much as I was and my wife was.
So going back to the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Right, yeah, right. So I just kind of want them to be more creative and thought forward, but I do monitor stuff, and there's some stuff that, you kind of have to keep an eye on. Like, you have to, I think if you talk to your friends, you find out, like, oh, did you hear about that thing that the kids are watching? Yeah. I was like, what are they watching?
Yeah.
I run through the iPad, like, did you see it? Did you see it?
Like the one with that little character that would come out and tell them to cut. I don't know if that was real or not. I forgot the name of that, but it was like, what?
There's like an ugly face that comes out.
Yeah.
Oh. No, yeah, for real. So, I mean, back in the day, me and you were like, Bloody Mary, only twice.
Oh, in the mirror, yeah.
Don't do it 3 times.
And then Candyman came out, we're like,
Candyman. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I was like, call Bloody Mary, let's see what happens, No. But yeah, dude, like, I mean, kids will be kids, but we used to, man, I mean, me and you used to walk for miles. We used to walk the whole city. If we wanted to go eat somewhere, we had, like, I don't know how we did it with just $5 or $10 in our pocket, but we did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, kids now, they get Ubered by their parents. Like, oh, it's like, you can't have an Uber pick you up. They do. Uber just picks them up real quick. But it's a trip. How the kids can't walk like we did. Yeah. I mean, would I let my son walk to school right now? Nah, bro.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, even though we grew up in a time when that was normal.
Yeah.
Now I see it and I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, that's one bad parent. But because that's, I don't know if that's like the fear that's instilled in us, like,
But like, to take your kids, but yeah. I mean, quick one too, like, there was an active shooter outside the school, right? And the school has like no barricades in they have fences, but you can walk into the front, and they had an active shooter a block away from my son's school.
Whoa.
And that was pretty scary, right? My mother-in-law was there to pick him up, and she got actually locked into the school too, as he was. And my son was crying, and at the same time he breathed, he prayed, and then he's like, I started hugging all these students and tell them it's gonna be okay, it's okay. So he calmed all these kids down, and he told them to listen to the teacher, and they all kind of barricaded themselves and sat against like what would be protective in case a bullet went through. It's crazy that I put my kids through scenarios at home that teaches them that, and that's something that I taught my sister how to duck in case of a drive-by in Palm Park. Yeah, and we were shot at, and she would duck behind a car. So yeah, I mean, I have a pool. So what I do with my kids, I throw them in there. No, I taught them how to swim, but at the same time, what if I drown? Like, what if I hit my head and was floating like this, and my son's like, I'll get you, and then he couldn't. So I had to teach him how to pick an arm up and swing it, so that way it brought me back out. At least my mouth was out of the water. He said, I will swim you back. He's like, you could drown swimming me back. So my daughter's like, I'll go get the pole, right, to clean the pool. Yeah. And she went and got the pole, and they pretty much fished me out to the shallow end. Yeah. And I was like, cool, let's do that again. Yeah. So when Vivi fell in the water, my daughter, my son actually, like, out of nowhere with his strength just grabbed her, picked her up, and she was out. So she was scared. They were so scared. And my wife's like, why are they so quiet? What's going on? She was working in the house, and she looked out. They're playing, and there's a big pool. We had the fencing. We did everything to prevent something like that happening. But they're old enough now. Yeah, they know how to swim. But shit happens, and I teach them that. I don't want to say it to them like that, like shit happens. But I just sound like when something happens, you need to breathe, calm, pray, just go, get on it. And it's unfortunate, man, that we have to do that with our kids. But some people, like, they will never hear a gunshot. They'll hear it from the TV. I get 2 wood blocks and I smash them together like that, and they get all like, wow, that's loud. It's like, that's what a gunshot sounds like. Yeah. And they're like,
then later on when they grow up, they're not gonna be able to be around construction. I mean, like,
it's like, oh my God, I'm traumatized. But then I see them and I look at them. I go, look at me, breathe. They're like, what are you gonna do? And they're like, I'm gonna do this. Like, that's a good one. That's a good one. So I train them. I mean,
it's unfortunate that we even have to do that, but it's.
I mean, bro, people have been training and teaching their kids how to hunt since they were like, you could, back in the day, like, you want to eat? Let's go hunt a rabbit, So you teach my kids just to be careful and aware of what gunshots and swimming pools and people arguing, fighting with you at work and school. I tell them, like, I don't want you to fight,
Yeah, be aware of their surroundings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
where's
the
the nearest exit?
Oh, yeah. Go walking. It's crazy. You walk into Walmart, like, how do you get out of it?
Yeah.
If there's someone shooting in the aisles, how your kids and your wife or yourself are going to get out of that? So I was like, my son was like, let's go to the produce where they have the delis. I'm like, hell yeah. So there's got to be an exit out of the deli, or and it's crazy. I don't know how I got to see this. It was on Prime, and it was about like a shooting that happened like in the 70s. It was nasty, bro, and the footage was so real in there. I was telling my wife I was getting sick watching it, but I don't know why I put myself to watch it. But you learn from people's mistakes, right? So a lot of these workers would hide themselves in the meat locker, and that's how they got to live. Some of them put blood on themselves so they looked like they were shot. So they would, But other than that, the gunman was just shooting people.
Survival instinct for those people.
Kids, bro, everybody, kids, babies. It was so gross, but it was real.
Yeah.
This is something that happened like, I think at the McDonald's close to the border. I think it happened at.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so crazy, bro. And how did I see it? I just saw it. I was like documentaries, and I'm like, well, that happened in the 70s at McDonald's. I never heard about that, and I played it. And I'm like, my wife's like, what are you watching? I'm like, ugh, it's
something
like
I wish I could take back.
But you think about that, like when my son said, like, we'll jump over the produce and hide in the meat locker. I'm like, damn, bro, yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, again, it's unfortunate that we even have to talk about that, but it is the reality of our time,
the world.
Yeah. So 2024 is on its way. I mean, we're right now we're still in January. Yeah, we're over COVID, thank God.
No, Kobe.
Kobe. Oh.
It's 24 years.
So what do you look forward to this year? I mean, what's in the future for you?
I think finally the school is at a competitive price. All our competitors are always very high rates and never had anything to offer, and we are the same competitive price, and we're offering more. We're offering more than we offered even ourselves, and it's cool. It's awesome. I'm gonna get a class going right now. It's gonna be fun. But I want to put away money to get another business, whether it's another bar or another school. I just want another revenue stream. Right. So I decided to become a businessman, and I'll never rest. So I want to see another revenue stream, But I do like helping people, they're coming up and they're getting money. I was like, you should do this, you should do that. And some people take my ideas and they run with it. But if they don't, it's just an idea, it's just a thought. But I just don't have time to do things I can't focus on, and that sucks.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're a family man too, so you have to spend time with the family as well.
You gotta have your
work.
Your mediums, but if you can, and your health too, I'm not the skinniest I used to be, I'm not the healthiest either.
That makes two.
Big belly podcast. But for sure, I want to see another revenue stream coming this way. If not, I heard someone say this on Instagram. It's like, can your business build itself without you? Well, do you have to be at work? Can it run without you? Well, like, I'm a lot of it here, what I mean? I get it, but there's really great instructors that come my way that work here. There's Dave and Letty, and I love them, and then Fernando, and then everybody that comes in, Victor, everybody that comes in here that works with me, they show really dedication to the students too, which I like and I want. So maybe I can digitize myself one day, put myself on a video, and that could be an introduction class or a makeup class where you're watching me. But I think there's other bartenders out there that kind of want to give back to the community, our community, and will teach for me in my place. So not that I'm going anywhere, but you have to see if your business can grow without you.
Yeah.
So like McDonald's is going to be a McDonald's forever.
Yeah.
I mean, so like that's the concept you have to look at. If you build a business, will it grow without you? Like once Tesla, if Elon Musk dies, unfortunately, if he passes and who does that go to? I mean, there's going to be a Tesla after that. Or Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Apple. Like everybody's like, oh, Apple was better when Steve Jobs was around. Yeah, you can see that, but it's going to be Apple, and you're still going to buy it.
Yeah, you're still going to buy the new 17, whatever. I don't know what the
laptop, a new iPad, new everything. So you're still going to. So that shows you right there, like if that business can keep growing without its, I don't know what to call it, but like the person that was making it go, and that person's gone, can it still be successful? Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. And as a business person like myself, like I always want to hire someone around me that is my, how you say, apprentice. And then when I'm gone, they're making my money, which is cool. I'm still making some money, but they're making money too.
Yeah.
And then it's a circle. It's a circle.
All right. And then what? When it comes to family, what do you expect for?
I love my fam, man. I do. I wish I was there. People can be like, I wish I was home more often, but the truth is, I'm a working man. I'm a working father. I spend as much time as I can with them. We do go on vacations. We do enjoy ourselves, and you know, I'd be that dad that's like having an excuse to buy them everything because I'm not around. You know, me and you didn't have everything growing up. We didn't have everything, but we were good. Yeah. We were good. We were happy. We worked for it. Me and you, we watched a lot of cars. Yeah. We earned it. Yeah. And I bestow that in the school too. Like, work hard, and you know, you're gonna get paid off. You know, there's gonna be a payment for that. It's gonna be work hard pays off. You know, and I do that with my kids. You know, I really do. But I mean, I catch myself sometimes like, oh, you need a new iPad? Like, okay, and like no.
What have you done to earn it?
What's wrong with the other one? You know, I wouldn't be that dude, but. You know, I do love them, and I will give them anything. And I tell them, like, I don't want you to ever worry about not just money, but just like it's just be you and have fun. Yeah. And the only way you can disappoint me is if you don't try. And that's all I can say. You know, so I love them, and I know they know that. You know, but you know, yeah, I just
doesn't hurt to remind them though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and then you know, when you're in a relationship with someone like your wife or so, like, you know, you got a partner that becomes your soulmate, you know, and then after many years together and owning businesses together or a house together, which is like a business, and raising your kids, that becomes your partner, and that becomes your, you know, everything around you. That's just like, you can't really do anything without them, and they don't make a call without them. It's like you're in business with that person, you know. But you know, love's there. You know, love's definitely there. It's something you can't see sometimes, but you can feel. You know, but in reality, love doesn't pay the bills. So it's kind of like, you kind of like tend to talk to each other. And I always tell young people, like, don't go to sleep angry. Yeah. And make sure you got dishes washed. Because the dishes always get like, oh my God, dishes. Yeah. I did them before I left today in the morning.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I left 2 or 3 for her. No, but it's like I just say little things that can like, they can really trigger a fight, you know, if you don't think about it, right? Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, you know, like, where's my food? You know, some people work hard and come home to, you know, they don't come home to a hot meal. You know, it's like, whoa, but like, bro, you know, there's, like you said earlier to me too, like, you know, your wives, you know, they have their thing too. They have a lot of their business too. They have a lot of things they're going to school for. They can't do it all for us, you know, but I think we all have to compromise and work together to make the household work. Yeah. You know? Yeah, it's all about compromise, communication. Of course, it's always the key. 100%. You know? So, great. Awesome. So, why don't you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you? Tell them how they can reach you on... You can reach me here at... truthfully, you can hit us up in... we're in the city of Covina, St. Gabriel Valley. You can hit me up on my Instagram. Our Instagram is prestige_bar_academy. You can call the place, like someone just called right now, 626-343-9641. Again, 626-343-9641. My website's the best, right? Thank you, you know, for everybody that gives us compliments on our website. They really like it. It's really up to date. www.prestigebaracademy.com. We do have a lot of workshops. We're getting ready for a Valentine's workshop, so we teach people to come in and make drinks for each other. Ooh. You should bring your wife. Bring your wife. That'd be dope. You know, I might just do that. You know, hopefully there's not going to be anything spicy for her. You know. Well, man, that was a spicy. Sancocho. Is what it's called? Sancocho. Yeah. I was like, damn, it's bro. Like caldo de res, but I was like, she angry at you, dog. You know what I'm saying? No, I wasn't. People like when they're like, the chile is really angry. Your grandma must be mad. No, that's. I'm like, stay mad then, because I was like, I would have loved it like 10 years ago. Now they're like, this old body's like, oh. God, acid reflux. Acid reflux. I was like, what is wrong with my chest? Not today. But yeah, I'm definitely, I enjoyed being here with you, man. I really wish you a lot of luck. You're my best friend. And I love what you're doing. You're actually expressing yourself. You've always been a good artist too, growing up. Thank you. Yeah. So being artistic doesn't have to just be something you have to do with hands and draw and paint. You can just, you know, talk to people. You're a very opening guy, and I think, you've always had really good fortune of finding friendship with other people too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Definitely. You've definitely picked some interesting ones when I grew up with you. Yeah. Thou shall not drop names. I mean, is he still cooking hot dogs? This guy. Oh man. All right. He's got a big belly too. He should be on our podcast. Yeah. Big belly podcast. Where are you going? So,
Thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you can like, comment, share, we are available on YouTube at Incredibly Normal, and we're also available on Spotify, also at Incredibly Normal with Rafael Avalos. Thank you everybody. Have a great night. We love you. Have a happy and safe 2024, and we shall drink it up. Till next time.
Drink that.